is about using one of these, Sidearm. Real staple of a lot of club cricketers' bags these days, but question being, Ben, do guys really know how to use them to get most out of it?
I think those who use them regularly probably do, but I think a lot of the time you see guys turning up to help their club junior training, a lot of well-meaning parents, turn out with a brand new sidearm, fresh to use in the winter, but they've either bought the wrong one, or they're constantly throwing bouncers or beamers at their 12-year-old kids.
Which in turn can have quite a negative effect on a youngster's confidence. We've actually coached guys who refuse to use one of these, or certainly for the first few sessions, because they have no trust, confidence or faith in the coach that's using them. So first bit of advice here is, well-meaning parents, coaches, if you're not confident, don't use it. You wouldn't ask these kids to bowl slower balls, to play sweep shots if they've not practiced them before in the net, in a game. Why would you be doing this with a sidearm in a practice session? Practice makes perfect, guys. Right, first up we're going to start with Ben. What's the grip of your sidearm, please?
Well, you just hold the handle, really, to be honest with you. I mean, it's very much personal preference, obviously, you know, some people want to hold it with their finger pointing down the back. It's just whatever works for you, really. And then the only thing I'd say I don't agree with is that you're told to throw using your normal throwing action. The problem with that is that some people's normal throwing actions aren't particularly great. So if we just start simple, let's start with the basic one, Tom, the yellow sidearm. So this is the one that we want.
The club version.
Yeah, the club version. We want to use with kids or less experienced players maybe, or developing players, people who want to build a bit of confidence. So this is a bit more flexible, comes out of the cup a little bit slower. So if I'm throwing at Corey, all I'm looking to do, imagine if I was starting with the sidearm for the very first time. I go with my hands together to make sure I'm aiming with my front arm and then just flick it down. Good ball there, good ball. Just nipped away a bit. And then as you get used to it more, you can build in more speed by taking your arm all the way like that. Yeah?
I think it's worth mentioning on that front is that I probably started using sidearms in the last 4 years regularly, 5 years probably. I think Ben's probably using a year longer than myself, in fact. What I would say is, like we said, the practice is key, but the one thing, if you've never used one before and you've picked it up, you'll be amazed by, is if you just try and throw the ball down there as you would a normal throw, the ball will probably bounce somewhere near your feet. The key mistake a lot of people make is they're too scared to throw it full enough, okay? And with that I mean, by throwing it full, completing your throwing action as you would do. Most of the errors with these sidearms will be when you don't complete the full action. That's when we see the ball either hitting halfway down here or over the keeper's head. Ben, do you want to have a go with the white?
Yeah, so the white one's a little bit quicker. Reason I put a little bit of tape around the top is just to hold it in a bit tighter so you can get a little bit of extra speed. I feel it gives you a little bit more control as well. So again, just to start with, I'm going all the way back, but bringing both arms up, so I'm aiming with my front arm. Yeah? Cool. Like I said, it does come out a little bit quicker. Corey, happy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't expecting that one, was he? No. We'll do another one then. So Corey, the white one's going to come out a little bit quicker, it's a bit stiffer. Yeah, same action, just aiming my front arm. Cool, and then again, the next one up, you've got your pink sidearm. You made me laugh there. The next one up, you've got your pink sidearm.
Okay.
So again, even stiffer. And this is the one that I often see, like I said, well-meaning parents, all they want to do is give their kid the best practice possible. So you can't knock them for that. But if you take this one and throw it at a kid, it's going to come out. It's going to come out a little bit quicker than you might expect. So this is probably what you'd be looking to use with senior cricketers, regular senior cricketers, up to professional players, I'd say, with the pink one. And again, a bit of tape on it, both of them, that is just to make it a bit stiffer and holding it tight around the cup so you get quite consistent feed.
Perfect. So they're the three sidearms that we try and use as much as we can here at TFCC. I do have one little thing I'd like to look at though. Ben, coming back to the yellow sidearm,
Yep.
Are there any variations in the ways in which you'd use that? So let's say, for example, if you're a coach, you're delivering a lot and you're trying to offer quality of feeds, bit of shape on the ball and consistency, but also trying to perhaps preserve your shoulders, etc. What are the ways you might tailor that for, say, a slightly younger player? What are the sorts of things you could do?
So if I was using this to feed someone who I don't want the ball to bounce very much for, maybe especially looking at front foot stuff, or working with a 10 or 11-year-old, but you still want to work on a full distance of 19 yards, you can do your same feed, but from a kneeling position. And then what that does there is just make sure the ball stays low. You don't get that added bounce on an artificial wicket. So that's one way of doing it. Again, another thing like that, I wouldn't write off using a yellow sidearm with an academy cricketer or something like that, or a regular club player, because if I practice enough, I can use this, grip it side on, and I can use this to throw spin. I was planning on that one turning, Corey, but you smothered it. Well played. We'll do another one. Shot, runs.
I think it's worth mentioning there, guys, that the way Ben's able to manipulate a simple coaching tool, if you like, and use it in different ways. So, like you said, he's changing the trajectory. All the things we don't think about. Bowling machines. We talk about bowling machines, fantastic. Grooving, drilling, accuracy, etc. Disadvantage, you don't get to watch the ball out the hand. The ball's released at the same height every time. People forget to change the angle, and they don't necessarily do it over or around the wicket. Great thing about the sidearm is you have all that flexibility, providing you know how to use it.
Again, the good thing is, especially, I find it's easier when you do put that bit of tape around it. It's a bit more like a hand. You've got a bit more grip on it. So if I wanted to practice, give Corey some practice against playing a fast bowler, maybe end of a T20 game. He knows this because I'm going to say it out loud, but it's going to be a slower ball, right? And all I'm going to do, rather than throwing it out the front like that, I'm going to flip it around and throw it out the back. Okay? Now I can either show him it from the start, so he knows I've still got him caught at square leg, so he knows it's going to be a slower ball, or I can start. This is where, if you're a bit more confident and you can go through your full action, I can start pointing it at him and flip it as I turn it round, and then I've got quite a nice slower ball at the back of a hand for a batter. And again, if Corey's looking to practice in a game scenario, I think one of the most useful things you can do as a coach, and you might have to go a bit closer to start with, but because it's such a simple tool, I can just flip it round, go with the same technique, so both hands together, aim with my front arm, which is now my left arm, and flick it down. So he's facing a right arm over bowler now. What do you think, Tom?
Okay, guys, yeah, so really that's sort of, hopefully in a few minutes there is sort of encapsulated for you guys, captured how we go about using a sidearm. Be really interested to know your guys' thoughts and the views of people that have engaged and watched this video. How would you use it? Any suggestions that we've not come up with, or indeed, what do you think of the way we go about it? Be really interested to know. So thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it, Ben. Thanks for your time. We'll catch you on the next one.